Okay, guys, we're going to do a little bit of a British Grand Prix review here in the open division. So yes, the British Grand Prix, bit of hell of a story behind this one, because it was due to be, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, which is today or yesterday. But the UK went into lockdown on Thursday. It was announced by our Prime Minister Boris Johnson last week. So rather than cancel the show, Ian Constable, Bob Chick, the promoters, scrambled around like crazy and managed to pull it back to Wednesday. I mean, it was all done and dusted in about 24 hours. The whole arrangements, rebooking the venue. I mean, you can imagine all the phone calls they had to make. So yeah, big full credit to them for making the show go ahead. So we're going to go to the live stream here from Pump Media. Live stream was very, very good. I was very impressed with it. Here they're doing a tribute to Luke Sandow, our dear friend who we lost in May. Yeah, can you just turn the volume up a little bit, please, Colin? I just want to hear this. There's Luke. Yeah. Yeah, Luke would have been competing in this show originally when it was due to be held in May. Was it June? May or June? And then it was put back, obviously, because of COVID to today or yesterday. And obviously, sadly, we lost him in May. So the show is in memory to Luke Sandow. And we all miss him. And yeah, just very, very happy. I think everyone was happy that the show just still went ahead. And they managed to pull it off. So full credit to those guys, the Two Bros events. Yeah, good job, guys. Good job. Okay, so yeah, this went on for several minutes, and they did a speech at the start, which was, as you saw, at the very start of this, was read out by Ian Constable. So yeah, it's nice that he's still been acknowledged there, and still, because yeah, he was a hugely influential figure in the British and international bodybuilding scene, not just in bodybuilding, but he was a great guy. And here's all the Open Pro competitors, as you can see there in shadow, stood there paying respects to our dearly departed friend Luke Sandow, the juggernaut. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we miss you, Luke. We miss you, buddy. Okay. Okay, so who's up first? Let's go to this. Oh, this is when they bring out the competitors by themselves.
Jamie.
Can you just turn it down, please, Carly? Just slightly. Yeah. You're hearing the commentation by Charles Claremont, very well-known bodybuilder in the 90s. He won the British Grand Prix in 1993. Actually, beat Kevin Navarone. Flex Wheeler was second. Kevin Navarone was third. Here's Cuba Seelan, 26, I believe this guy is. He's only a couple of years outside the juniors. He looked very good. His condition was fantastic. The best I've seen Cuba. He's a work in progress. Samson Dowd, I recognise that walk. Very confident walk. He looked very good when he first came out, but Samson always seems to fade very, very, very fast. I don't know why that is. Some guys do. Some guys just get better. Some fade. Here's Regan Grimes. Regan actually got stuck in Poland this week because he was en route to the Romania Pro. He was 4th place in Alicante. He was 2nd place here. Let's just watch them as they come out individually. Let's watch this. You can hear Charlie and Abs in the background. Oh, got some buffering going on here. Okay, very, very good live stream as well by Chris Clark of Pump Media. Oh, look at this, Mark Hector. When this guy fills out his legs, I mean, my God. I mean, look at the structure. Look at the vacuum. His shoulders, his chest, the way he pops. He's absolutely phenomenal. So this show, very small audience, obviously, because of COVID. Yeah, I recognise that silhouette as well. The dense granite muscle of James Hollinshead. Yeah, huge. Probably in the mid-260s here, 270 maybe. As you can see, they were kind of really pushing the show through in time-wise, because everyone had to be out of the... Some of these competitors had to be out of the country by kind of that night. There's Theo Laguerre. I hope I've said that right. I've just had him on the show, just interviewed him, from France. Here's a guy on the rise, 28 years old. Turned pro in 2018 at the Amateur Olympia in Las Vegas, prepped by Mauro Sassi. Can you believe this is what's coming last place in a show like this? Florian Poisson, 26 years old, prepped by Patrick Tour. He prepped in a bit of a rush for this contest, but my God, I mean, I messaged him afterwards and I said, Florian, I says, you don't let the results of this show kind of dishearten you, because, he is a guy with the structure and the size and the shape to really be one, like a world beater in the next few years. I mean, 2 years, that guy could be literally top 6 Olympia and winning multiple pro shows. He used to fill out his chest, his back, his arms. But, I mean, you look at the overall lines and you can see that when this guy really balances everything out in the next couple of years, he's going to be absolutely dangerous. Look at that, Jamie Johal. Honestly, I think Jamie Johal's got one of probably the best front lat spread in the business. That front lat spread is just lights out. Regan looks very good here. Okay, so you got Jamie the Christian Johal there, 6'5". Probably between 290 and 300 pounds. Beautiful aesthetics, small waist. Much better than he was in Alicante. He took 9th in Alicante in his pro debut, turned pro in 2018. I was glad because he said to me on Global Muscle a couple of episodes ago, he decided not to do this one. Then he changed his mind, and here he is. Jamie was 4th place here. Fantastic result. I mean, look at him. He's peaked beautifully here. He's got size, aesthetics, conditions fantastic. 10 pounds heavier than when he turned pro in 2018. As you can see, this guy has just got all the tools to be a world beater. Really is. Cuba Sealant, very, very impressed with him in this show. Very, very good. Great structure, nice shape, good aesthetics. I like his shape. I like his conditioning. I think his conditioning was fantastic. See the difference in conditioning there. Much, much harder than Samson. Then we have Samson, who's had a very tough year. Tried to get to Tampa, couldn't get there. Went to Korea and all the hassle he had with the quarantining and not being able to train and eat properly. Regan Grimes here. And then he went to Alicante. I think he was 5th or 6th place there. I can't remember now. Okay, Mark Hector. Here's a guy I think's got crazy potential. Crazy potential. Here he is. Prepped by Abdullah, Brandon Curry's coach from Oxygen Gym. There, look at that. Look when he opens up. Look at that. Shoulder to waist. I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive. Small joints, good calves. I just like the pop and the lines in his shoulders, his arms, his chest. Then you've got the raw density, the sheer massive James Hollinshead. I think James is one of those guys that you really need to see. I don't like the way he poses. His arms are too high, makes his lats look, and his lats look, triceps look, doesn't make him look good. He's changed that. But look at the shoulders, the chest. Big, heavy, dense guy. Theo Laguerre from France, who we just had on Global today. Very, very, very good physique. Great poser. Florian, as you can see, Florian's conditions are just off. But, I mean, look at that. I mean, really, I think he has the best front double bicep out of that group. It's just the conditioning's not there. But for me, he's like a young Dennis Wolf with huge calves. Yeah, that's... I'm not keen on the way James holds his arms there. But look at the conditioning and the glutes, the hamstrings, the thickness of his calves. Oh, sorry, I've just stopped it there. So, okay, let's have a look at this. Theo here, fantastic conditioning. He needs to fill that back out a little bit, but really nice, conditioning. Florian here, looking probably another 3 weeks of good hard prepping. He'd have been a contender here, without a doubt. James there. Yeah, very good. Huge guy. I think James is one of those guys you have to see in the flesh. I think he's, from what I've heard, he's shocking when you see him, physically, because it can tell a different story sometimes when you're at these shows. You sometimes do have to be there. Whereas other guys can look amazing on Instagram and in pictures and, they're not look more impressive or less impressive on stage, sorry. Okay, we've got Jamie the Giant here, and he is a giant, 6'5", 290 pounds. Massive, man. Look at that front lat spread. Wow. Oh, God. I think Jamie's 33, isn't he, Colin? 33. I mean, so he's got time on his side. Everything looks fresh. It looks healthy. It looks good, The lines are clean. There's no blurry delts. The conditioning top to toe is very consistent throughout his physique. He looks aesthetic. Flat midsections, tight waist. Delts the size of his head. It does. That's always the goal, if you can get delts the same size as your own head. But yeah, he is a really nice looking physique. Keep saying it. There you are. Oh, Jesus. That front lat spread's huge. He does look like Superman when he does that. Although I've never seen Superman hit front spread. In fairness. A side tricep. I mean, look, he's got the aesthetics of a, much, much lighter bodybuilder, but he's also got the size and dimensions of a, super freak. Cuba here. Yeah, I like the conditioning. Yeah, conditioning. Yeah, here's a guy, he's improving. He's moving up. Turned pro 2018, I believe it was. Yeah, it was 2018. I forget which show it was. It was a European show. Yeah, look at the condition, the skin around his glutes, his hamstrings. Yeah, he suffered for this. He's dieted hard. Yeah, needs to slow his posing down a bit, mate. Yeah, skin's very thin there. But yeah, a couple of years, he could be very, very good. Very, very good. And then we got Samson. Samson, I was disappointed in this. But, I was expecting better conditioning from Samson. I think maybe he's... Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Frontal bicep. He knows how to pose, Samson. Very aesthetic. Yeah, you see around the chest, in the front lat spread, you can see his body starting to look a little bit depleted now. The conditioning... I don't know whether he's just flat or whether he's smooth or soft, around here. It's lacking detail. But he's just about there, Samson. He really is. I mean, he's hitting that ceiling of that next level to go, like there. I mean, there's no conditioning going on around his arms and shoulders there. There's nothing going on there. But the shape, the lines, beautiful. I mean, he's got the potential to be a really good pro. And I mean really good. Regan Grimes, possibly, was he? I suppose he was one of the favourites coming into the show. I think he was better than Alicante. Got fourth in Alicante. He was second place in here. Still, he's definitely... I mean, there's another guy. I think he's 27 years old. But when you're this good in your 20s, you've got everything in your favour. Everything's on your side. But very nice lines. Yeah, I like the fullness around the chest and the way everything's popping. But, yeah, he's got a fantastic back, Regan. Like this bit here. The depth, the density, but still, just not bringing the conditioning. I don't know whether the travel affected him, but I love the lower lat thickness here. Yeah, the way it fans out. Yeah, fantastic. Oops, stopped it there. Yeah, very, very good physique. I'm so glad he came back to open. I didn't like it when he went to classic. I didn't think the look suited him. For me, him and Jamie, my two favourite physiques in this show. These are the ones that really shocked me because of the improvements they've made. Mark Hector was 7th in Alicante. Look at that, the vacuum. I mean, look at the genetics, the shape, the structure, like clean, like his shoulders and triceps. Everything's bursting full, like the deep separations here. This is it. Yeah, he's peaked perfectly for this show. Conditions very, very tight. It's readable bicep. Have a look at his shoulders now. That's very Dexter Jackson. When you say the muscles are popping, this is what we're talking about. Things are popping. Things are jumping off the bone. And that's the shot. That most muscular. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, a couple of years, this kid is going to be... Yeah, he's going to be taking some wins. James, yeah. I think, was he better than Alicante here? It was difficult because this footage is a lot better than the Alicante, the one I was looking for online anyway. But as you can see, the conditioning, I think, possibly is a little touch better than in Alicante. I still like to see the kind of detail that you see in Mark Hector around certain areas. But detail, I don't know. He's shredded, so he's very... he's like a British Branch Warren. Yeah, prepped by Patrick Tour from Switzerland. Heavy, dense, thick muscle. I think for the future, I'd like to see a little bit more lower lat development, and I'd like to see if he can try and thicken out his abs a little bit because, like I said in Globe Muscle before, Jay Cutler had very shallow abs, but he managed to, improve them to the point where his ab and thigh was probably his best pose in the end. Here's Theo Laguerre, 28 years old. Like I said, turned pro 2 years ago. A real exciting new face to see on the scene. Prepped by Mauro Sassi from Team Stones, Italy. He's from France. Look at that. Yeah, beautiful shape. Yeah. When you've got shape, size, and aesthetics, then and you bring in good conditioning, then you've got a good future. But here's a work in progress, this guy. But doing Romania this weekend, next weekend as well. So, yeah, conditions great. Yeah, great cheese on them glutes. That's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah. Need a bit more back development, but his radial biceps is a better pose for him. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, give this kid time. Next couple of years, he's going to be a force, 100%. And I believe last we have Florian Poisson. I wonder how Florian feels about doing this show, given that he kind of rushed his prep. I spoke to Patrick. He's about 260. He's about 260 pounds here. He's a tall guy. He's a big guy. He turned pro at the Portugal last year. And then he competed in the pro show and took 4th place at, he'd been 25 years old. Made a real impact. He was in much better condition at that show. But, just look at the guy's shape. Look at the guy's legs, the flow. When he fills his chest and back out, I'd like to see slightly thicker arms as well. But I think maybe when they're better conditioned, they'll look more impressive. But he's just nearly there, Yeah. Look at those legs. Look at the quads. He's just not popping because he's not dry enough. He's not lean enough. But 26 years old. It's guys like this in Quinton area and guys in their 20s or guys like Mark Hector. They're really the next generation of pro bodybuilders. That are really going to be filling out those top spots in the years to come. So let's actually go to some call-outs. Okay, here we have first call-out. This actually ended up being the top 4. We got Jamie the Giant on the left here at 4th place. We had Regan Grimes here at 2nd. James Hollinshead in 1st. And then you had Mark Hector in 3rd place. Yeah, you can see the size difference between Mark and James now when you see them right next to each other. You can see the difference in how more advanced he is in terms of muscle thickness and density. But when Mark, in a couple more years, I tell you what, when he fills these legs out and everything, this all kind of gets a bit thicker and rounder, with that structure, he's going to look sensational. Regan Grimes here. I'd still like to see a bit more quads from Regan. They're great from the side and the back, but from the front, they still look like they need more thickness and width. Jamie the Giant. God, look at his shoulders. Look at his shoulders. Like, that's bigger than Regan's head. I mean, that's on a guy that's 6'5". So you can just physically imagine how big his shoulders are. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm so impressed with what Jamie's brought this year. Jamie the Giant. I still like to see him go into superhero movies, but there you go. That's just my opinion. I won't talk about it much more, I promise. But I do think he should be a superhero in superhero films. Yeah, look at the condition in James's glutes there. Jesus. God, you've got to suffer to get that kind of condition with that amount of muscle mass. And I like these lines in his traps here. When he does this, watch this. Look at that. That's freaky. In fact, it looks more impressive when he's not got tan on. Because if you look at his Instagram pictures in the lead up, I mean, look at the delts. I mean, he's got very impressive shoulders, James Hollinshead. James now with his 2nd pro win. This has qualified him for next year's Olympia. He's qualified for the 2020 Olympia by way of winning the Alicante, the NPC European Pro. So he's qualified for 2 Olympias. So what a step up for James. I mean, he turned pro in 2017, winning the overall British finals. I think Jamie the Giant was 3rd in that one, was he? I think he was 3rd. I'm sure he was 3rd, maybe 2nd. But these guys have been going head to head for 5 years. In 2015, Jamie won the super heavyweights, and that was the year James didn't place top 6 because he won it the year before. He won the super heavyweights at the British finals in 2014. He was a very, very good junior, James Hollinshead, won the British finals. I've got 2009 in my head. I think I've got 2000. I'm sure he won it that year. Regan Grimes, beautiful aesthetics. Yeah, lovely physique. Very popular on Instagram. Okay, we got Mark Hector. Okay, well, I've one little look at the second call out, and then we'll wrap it up. So here we go. What we got next? Here we got X. Okay, here we got. Okay, that's Theo there. Fantastic conditioning through the glutes. Look at that. Yeah, great physique. Cuba there. Looking a bit outsized next to Samson, but Samson's a little bit further along. Yeah, I like the way Cuba does his front double bicep. I like the way he angles his body. He's got potential, but he's got a lot of potential. Samson, he was 6th place in this contest. I think we were mainly expecting it to be him versus James Hollinshead. But I don't know whether he's just tired of his body, he's just burnt out. Because, I mean, this guy's had a hell of a year. Personally, I'd like to see him shut it down now and just kind of regroup for next year. Because he's certainly increased his fan base this year, Samson, from everything he's been through and the tenacity and the determination he's shown. But he's starting to look his body's starting to look tired now. See, this is the point where you can push harder and you end up looking worse in your prep because the body just resists. And I'll tell you what, Florian looks fantastic there. I mean, I know he needs couple weeks more prep, but I mean, in some of these shots, he's holding his own. Yeah, fantastic. What else? Yeah, it's a shame Samson wasn't shredded, you know. But yeah, it was a good top 9 here. Tough contest. Okay, so you got Cuba, Theo, Samson, Florian. Yeah, this is all a bit blurry, isn't it? But it's not popping. But fair play to him. What a year he's had. Okay, let's have a scroll across a little bit. Okay, there's the final call out. The top 4. Jamie looking super impressive there to me. Yep, wouldn't want to be a judge. I tried it, didn't like it. Hate judging. Didn't like it. Okay, so is there a bit of a pose down or... Okay, a bit of a pose down. Have we got it? Or is it placings? Oh, it's pose and routines. We won't go through pose and routines. Right, okay. Well, that's like a little bit of a rundown there for the British Grand Prix. Like I said, fantastic to the promoters for going through with it and managing to rearrange it, given all the chaos of the pandemic. Because when that news hit on the week before, you know, it would have been no one would have, had anything to say if they had cancelled the show. So yeah, it went ahead, and now James Hollinshead is now qualified for the 2021 Olympia, and obviously the tribute to Luke Sandow went ahead. So yeah, fantastic there. Big credit to Pump Media as well for some really good live stream footage there. I'm sure they'll be doing plenty more for Two Bros events in the future, and hopefully next time we can get to see Bob Chick over, because I know he really wanted to be at his own show, but unfortunately couldn't get over, obviously. So yeah, okay, I hope you've enjoyed that.